You hear all different kinds of things about lists. Some people are like, burn your list, throw it away, right? But ultimately, I've got a list that I think really rides the line of not being like too picky if you're worried about that, and not settling. And it's a list that I highly recommend. It's called the 5, 6, 7. And here's how it works, okay? So the 5 and the 6, there's 3 different sections of things, right? The section of 5 things and the section of 6 things are things you're looking for. The section of 5, like he was saying, non-negotiables, right? Highest priority. What's the most important, especially going into marriage with that crossover we were talking about earlier? What are some things some characteristics I know I need in a future spouse? Some examples for this section are things like Matt was already saying, physically attracted is important, right? There's quotes from apostles on that. So don't downplay it, it is important. But there's other things that are also high priorities, like seeing eye to eye with your religious beliefs, right? Being all in on the covenant path, like Matt also talked about. Someone who's developed 3 characteristics that are really hard to develop after you're an adult, research says anyway. One is empathy, another is self-control, and the third is being able to take responsibility for your mistakes, not putting blame on the rest of the world. Those are 5 that were on. Those are the 5 that were on my list when I was dating. And then the 6 are things that are work in progress. See, I call my list a realistically picky list. And it's the 6th section where we start to get realistic, right? There's still things we're looking for, but they're things that are under construction, all right? So, for example, maybe you want someone who's financially stable, but they've got some student debt. Maybe they're still in school and they've got some student loans. Are they financially stable or not? What do I categorize that at? Well, are they working a part-time job? Are they trying to kind of dig themselves out as they go? Well, that attribute of being financially stable is probably under construction, right? So that's an example of something you could put in the 6th section of your list. Now, the 7th section of your list is where it takes a little more effort to fill it out. These are the things you're not looking for. And this is where you get really realistic, right? My wife and I had a conversation the other day. She was like, what's the purpose of this section of the list again? The 7th section? Because I'm writing a book and I was trying to give examples of the different sections. And I was like, well, let me put it this way, Allison. I was like, when you were dating and single, were you looking for someone who was obviously balding? And she was like, no. I was like, but you married me anyway. She's like, yeah, because I've never really had anything against bald men. And I was like, see, so that would have been something you probably would have put on that section of the list. You're not looking for it, but when someone comes along that has all 5 and all 6, it's a no-brainer. It's like, oh, that doesn't matter. Like, it's still worth it, right? So that's what I recommend when it comes to doing something that will get you at a place where you're like, oh, I know I'm not too picky. I know I'm not going to settle because I know exactly what I want and I know it's real.